I was holding my son's DNA test results in a hospital parking lot when I realized the boy I'd loved for 7 years wasn't mine, and everyone around me had known all along. The envelope was heavier than it should have been, or maybe my hands were just shaking. I'd picked it up from the lab at 3:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. The receipt was still warm in my cup holder next to coffee I'd stopped tasting 2 hours ago. The paper had that medical-grade thickness. Official, final, the kind of thing that doesn't care what you want to be true. I opened it in my car because I couldn't wait. Couldn't drive home, couldn't walk back into that house and pretend I didn't know. Alleged father, probability of paternity, 0.0%, 0. Not 1%, not unlikely, 0. The numbers didn't blur, didn't change. I read them 3 times, like maybe I'd missed a decimal point, a footnote, an asterisk that said, just kidding. But DNA doesn't have a sense of humor, it just is. I'd done the test on a Tuesday morning, dropped it off on a Wednesday. They'd said 5 to 7 business days. It took 6. 6 days of watching Liam, my son, I still called him my son, eat cereal and ask me about dinosaurs and fall asleep with his hand on my arm because that's how he'd always slept. 6 days of acting normal while my wife Sarah asked me what was wrong and I said nothing because I couldn't say, I'm waiting to find out if our entire marriage is a lie. The parking lot smelled like asphalt and summer. Someone's car alarm went off 3 rows over. Life just kept going. I sat there with the paper in my lap and thought about the ultrasound photo stuck to our fridge. March 14th, 2017, Sarah, 20 weeks pregnant, glowing. I'd held her hand during that appointment, watched the tech point at the screen. There's the heartbeat. I'd cried, actual tears, happy tears. That photo was still on the fridge. I thought about the hospital bracelet I'd saved from the day he was born. Baby boy 7 lbs 3 Oz, born 3:42 a.m. I'd been there, held him 6 minutes after he came out, still covered in, I don't know what you call it, the birth stuff. He'd opened his eyes and looked at me, and I swore he knew who I was. That bracelet was in my desk drawer at home. I thought about 7 birthday cards, 7 cakes, 7 years of Daddy, watch this, and Daddy, I had a bad dream, and Daddy, you're my best friend. 7 years of believing I knew what my life was. The coffee in my cup holder had gone cold. The hospital behind me had moved on to other people's emergencies. Somewhere Sarah was home, probably starting dinner, probably wondering why I wasn't answering her texts. My phone buzzed. I looked at the screen. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. But the real bomb wasn't the results. It was the phone call I got 3 minutes later. Hello? It's Marcus. I didn't know a Marcus. Didn't recognize the voice. Deep, careful, like he'd rehearsed this. Who? Marcus Williams. We need to talk about Liam. The way he said my son's name, like he had permission, like he had rights. I don't know who you are. Yeah, you do. You just don't know you know. Sarah didn't tell you? The parking lot tilted. Tell me what? That he's mine, biologically. I'm his father, and I want to meet him. If you've ever had a moment where your whole life made sense and then didn't, type I know in the comments. You're not alone in this. I gripped the steering wheel so hard my knuckles went white. You're lying. Am I? Check the DNA test you just picked up. I'll wait. He knew. He knew I'd tested. He knew when I'd picked it up. How do you... Because I've been waiting for you to figure it out. Sarah said you'd never test him, said you trusted her. But I guess you didn't trust her enough, huh? My mouth tasted like copper. If this is some kind of... It's not. I've got my own test from 3 years ago. Had it done when he was 4. Sarah knows. Her mom knows. Hell, half her family knows. The only person who didn't know was you. The envelope crinkled in my hand. 0%. Why are you calling me? Because I want custody, shared at minimum. He's my son. I've waited long enough. You don't get to... Actually, I do. I'm his biological father. The law is pretty clear on this, but hey, I'm reasonable. We can work something out. As long as you understand, you're not his dad. You never were. He hung up. I sat there holding a dead phone and a piece of paper that said I'd been living someone else's life. The coffee was cold. The parking lot was half empty now. People were going home to families that made sense. I'd done everything right. Except ask one question. 7 years. You want to know what 7 years looks like? Let me show you. Year 1, Liam's first word was Dada, not mama. Dada. Sarah had laughed, said he was a traitor. I'd recorded it on my phone, played it back 20 times that night. Dada, Dada. Like I was the center of his universe. Year 2, he learned to walk holding my fingers. Wouldn't do it with anyone else. Sarah tried. Her mother tried. He'd sit down, wait for me to come home from work, then stand up and grab my hands and take these wobbly, fearless steps. I've got a clay mold of his handprint from that year. The clay had dried gray, but I could still feel the grooves where his tiny fingers pressed too hard on the thumb. His whole hand fit in my palm back then. Year 3, potty training. I'll spare you the details, but I was the one who got him through it. 3 a.m. accidents, endless laundry, patient conversations about listening to your body. Sarah worked night shifts then. It was just me and him and a lot of Daniel Tiger songs. Year 4, first day of preschool. He cried. I cried in the car after drop-off. Picked him up 3 hours later and he ran to me, full speed, backpack bouncing, and said, "Daddy, I made a friend." Like it was the best news in the world. I still have the drawing he brought home that day. 2 stick figures holding hands. Me and Daddy. Year 5, he started soccer. I coached his team. Every Saturday morning, 9 a.m., rain or shine. He wasn't good, kept running the wrong direction, but he loved it. Loved that I was there. After every game, "Did you see me, Dad? Did you see my kick?" Year 6, he learned to read. We'd sit on the couch every night sounding out words. C-A-T, cat. He'd look up at me for approval every single time. When he finished his first chapter book, something about a dog, he hugged me and said, "We did it, Daddy." We, like we were a team. Year 7, 2 months ago, he made me a Father's Day card. Construction paper, glitter already falling off. Inside, in his crooked handwriting, "To the best, Dad. You teach me stuff and you don't yell. Love, Liam." I'd put it on my desk at work. That card was still there. And now I was sitting in a parking lot holding a piece of paper that said none of it mattered. That every bedtime story, every skinned knee I'd bandaged, every "I love you, Daddy" was built on a lie. The nurses who'd handed him to me in the hospital. The neighbors who'd said, "He has your eyes." The family who'd called me a natural at this whole dad thing. They'd all been wrong, or worse, they'd all known, and nobody had said a word. I thought about the ultrasound photo again, March 14th, 2017. If Sarah had gotten pregnant in March, that meant I did the math backward. Conception would have been late June, early July 2016. We'd gone to her cousin's wedding that July. I'd worked late most of that month closing a deal. She'd gone out with friends twice, said she needed to decompress. I'd trusted her. Marcus had been right about one thing. I'd trusted her. Now it was 5:30 p.m. Sarah would be wondering where I was. Liam would be asking when I'd be home. Dinner would be getting cold. I started the car, put the envelope in the glove compartment, drove home on autopilot, every turn, every stoplight, every moment of pretending this was a normal Tuesday. He said, "She told me you knew. Didn't she tell you?" I walked in the door at 6:15. Liam was on the couch watching cartoons, and when he saw me, he jumped up. "Daddy, you're late. Mommy said you got stuck at work." I picked him up. He wrapped his legs around my waist, arms around my neck. He smelled like strawberry shampoo and playground dirt. "Sorry, buddy. Daddy had to do something." "It's okay. We saved you pizza." Over his shoulder, I saw Sarah in the kitchen. She waved, smiled, asked, "Rough day?" I set Liam down. "Yeah, rough day." She didn't look guilty, didn't look worried. She looked like a woman whose husband had come home late from work. Normal, easy. Like the last 7 years hadn't been a performance. After Liam went to bed, after I'd read him 2 books and tucked him in and promised I'd be there when he woke up, I went back downstairs. Sarah was pouring herself a glass of wine. White, the good stuff she saved for weekends. "Okay," she said. "What's wrong? You've been weird since you got home." I sat down at the kitchen table, put my phone on the surface between us. I'd already checked. Our state was a one-party consent state for recordings. I could record this. I pressed the button. "I got a call today from Marcus." The wine glass stopped halfway to her mouth. "Who?" "Marcus Williams. Says he's Liam's biological father. Says you've known for years. Says half your family knows." She set the glass down, carefully, too carefully. When Sarah set down her wine glass, it clinked against the table, too loud, like everything that night. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Don't lie to me. Not now. I already tested him." Her face went pale. "You tested? You had no right." "I had every right. He's my son, except he's not." "Is he?" She stood up, started pacing. "It's not that simple." "Yeah, it is. Is Marcus his biological father? Yes or no?" 5 seconds of silence, 10, 15. "Yes." The word hung there. "How long have you known?" "It doesn't matter." "How long, Sarah?" "Since before he was born." I'd expected it. Didn't make it easier to hear. "So, when you told me you were pregnant, when I was in that ultrasound room, crying like an idiot, when I held him in the hospital, when I got up every night for a year straight because he wouldn't sleep, you knew." "I didn't know how to tell you." "You had 7 years. You were so happy. You were such a good dad, and I thought it didn't matter who. It matters." "Why?" "Because of some genetic test. You raised him. You love him. That's what matters." I pulled out my phone, showed her the DNA results. 0%, probably not unlikely, 0. She looked at the paper, looked away. "When did it start? With Marcus?" "It was a mistake. One time." "When?" "July 2016. Your company's summer party. You were working late, and I went out with some friends, and he was there, and you brought him home." "No, it was at a hotel. Just once. I swear it was just once." "But enough." She didn't answer. "Does he want custody?" He's mentioned it. He called me today, Sarah. Told me he wants shared custody at minimum. You knew this was coming." I told him to wait. Wait for what? For Liam to be older? For me to figure it out on my own? "I didn't want to hurt you." I laughed. Couldn't help it. "You didn't want to hurt me. That's rich. I love you. I love our family. Our family is built on a lie. But you're still his father." Those 6 words almost broke me. But you're still his father. Like it was that simple. Like biology was just a technicality, something we could ignore if we wanted it badly enough. I stood up. "I need to think." "Don't leave, please. Liam needs you. I need you." "You should have thought about that 7 years ago." I went upstairs, checked on Liam, still asleep, thumb in his mouth, stuffed dog tucked under his arm. He looked so small, so trusting. I closed his door, went to the guest room, lay on the bed staring at the ceiling. My phone buzzed. Text from Sarah. "We can fix this." Another buzz. Text from Marcus. "My lawyer will be in touch." I turned the phone off. Should he have walked away that night? Comment. Stay or leave. The divorce papers came 4 days later. I was at work when the process server showed up, handed me a manila envelope, said, "You've been served," and walked away like he'd just delivered a pizza. I opened it in my office. Door closed, blinds shut. Petition for dissolution of marriage. Petitioner, Sarah Marie Collins. Respondent, me. She'd filed first. Beat me to it. Page 7, Section 4. child custody. Petitioner requests sole physical and legal custody of minor child with supervised visitation for respondent pending psychological evaluation. Petitioner asserts respondent has exhibited anger management issues and unstable behavior. Supervised visitation, like I was dangerous, like I'd ever hurt him. Zero visitation, like I'd never existed. I called my brother. He's a lawyer, corporate, not family law, but close enough. She's painting you as unstable, he said, building a case. Has she documented anything? Like what? Therapist visits, police calls, witnesses who'd say you lost your temper. Doesn't matter. She just needs one person to say you slammed a door, raised your voice, looked at her wrong. Family court assumes the mom's telling the truth until proven otherwise. That's insane. That's the system. Get a lawyer, a good one, today. I found one. Attorney named Rebecca Reynolds. She'd handled a case like mine 2 years ago, father fighting for custody of a kid who turned out not to be his biologically. She'd won. I met her the next morning, brought every document I had, birth certificate, medical records, school forms, all with my name on them. 7 years of being dad, reduced to a file folder. Rebecca looked through it. Good, this helps. You're listed as father on the birth certificate. You've been acting as his parent since birth. That gives us standing. Standing? Legal right to seek custody. In this state, biology isn't everything. If you can prove you've been the de facto parent, the actual day-to-day parent, you can petition for custody even without biological ties. Can I win? Depends. Do you want custody? He's my son. Biologically, I don't care about biologically. He's my son. She smiled, first genuine smile I'd seen in a week. Then we fight. I made a calendar, printed it out, hung it on my apartment wall. I'd moved out 3 days after Sarah filed, couldn't stay in that house. The calendar had every event from the last 2 years, every soccer game, every parent-teacher conference, every school play, doctor's appointment, birthday party. I'd highlighted the ones I'd attended. Every single one was yellow. Sarah had missed 11. Work conflicts, she'd said, I'd covered, always covered. Next to the calendar, I pinned a note from Liam's teacher, Ms. Chen, 3rd grade. She'd sent it home last month. Thank you for volunteering at the book fair. Liam was so proud to have you there. You're setting a wonderful example. Under that, a photo from Liam's school play. He'd been a tree. I was in the audience, front row, phone held high to record. Sarah had been at a work dinner. Under that, a therapist's note. Not mine, Sarah's. She'd claimed I had anger issues, so I'd requested her therapy records through Discovery. Her therapist had written, patient reports marital stress related to undisclosed paternity issue. Patient expresses guilt but fears financial consequences of honesty. Financial consequences. She hadn't been afraid of hurting me. She'd been afraid of losing the house. Rebecca photocopied everything. We're building a case. You are the primary parent. You have documents. You have witnesses. This is good. What about Marcus? What about him? He wants custody too. Let him try. He's been absent for 7 years. No financial support, no presence in the child's life. Biology might give him standing, but judges care about consistency. You've been there. He hasn't. She wanted full custody, 0 visitation, like I'd never existed. I looked at the calendar again. 200 yellow highlights, 7 years of showing up. She could try to erase me from Liam's life, but the evidence didn't lie. Rebecca gave me homework. We need to prove a pattern, she said. Not just that you were a good dad, that she and Marcus planned this. Premeditation matters. It shows intent to deceive, which undermines her credibility. How do I prove that? Bank records, phone records, social media, anything that shows contact between Sarah and Marcus during your marriage, especially around the time Liam was conceived. I hired a private investigator. Her name was Elena, mid-40s former cop, the kind of person who looked at you and saw everything you were trying to hide. How far back? She asked. 2016, July. That's when Sarah says it started. And you want to know if it was really just once. I want to know the truth. She called me 3 days later. You're going to want to sit down. I was already sitting. What did you find? Bank statements first. Sarah made 5 cash withdrawals in summer 2016. Each one $500. Always on Fridays. Always from the ATM near the Marriott downtown. That doesn't prove. Hotel receipt. August 12th, 2016. Marriott downtown. Room charged to a Marcus J. Williams. 2 nights. My stomach dropped. August. That's after she got pregnant. Yeah. What else? Deleted text thread. I recovered it from her cloud backup. Legal, before you ask. Messages between Sarah and Marcus from July 2016 through last month. Hundreds of them. Send them to me. Already did. Check your email, but there's one more thing. What? Instagram photo. Sarah and Marcus, June 2015. A full year before she got pregnant. Tagged location, Riverside Bar. They're sitting close, very close. Caption from Sarah, old friends reconnecting. Old friends. Then Elena handed me a photo from the baby shower. I'd never seen it before. The photo was printed on glossy paper, professional quality. Someone had hired a photographer for Sarah's baby shower, her mother probably. I'd been at that shower, stood in the corner eating finger sandwiches while Sarah opened gifts and her friends cooed over tiny clothes. I remembered that day. April 2017, Sarah was 7 months pregnant, glowing, happy. Everyone kept saying how lucky we were. In the photo, Sarah was sitting in the center of the frame, surrounded by gifts, hand on her belly. And standing behind her, hand on her shoulder, was a man I didn't recognize. Elena had written on the back, Marcus Williams, listed on guest sign-in as family friend. He'd been there, at my son's baby shower. While I stood 10 feet away eating sandwiches, this man, the biological father, had his hand on my wife's pregnant belly. I looked closer. Sarah was looking right at the camera, smiling. Not the smile you give when someone surprises you, the smile you give when you're posing, when you know exactly what's happening. I called Elena back. Who else knew he was there? Check the guest list. I sent that too. I opened the attachment. 23 names. Sarah's mother, Diane, Sarah's sister, 3 cousins, her college roommate, her boss. Next to Marcus's name, someone had written in pen, Sarah's cousin. He wasn't her cousin. I'd met her cousins. Marcus wasn't one of them. Elena, who wrote that? Handwriting matches Sarah's mother. Her mother knew. Marcus knew. And in the photo, Sarah was looking right at the camera, smiling. I showed Rebecca everything. Bank statements, hotel receipts, text messages, Instagram photos, the baby shower picture. She spread them across her desk like evidence at a crime scene. This is good. This is very good. Good. It establishes a pattern of deception, ongoing contact, financial transactions, third-party witnesses who knew and said nothing. Her mother lied on the guest list, called him her cousin, which proves conspiracy to conceal. We can depose Diane, make her testify under oath. Will she tell the truth? She'll have to. Perjury is a crime. Most people crack when you put them under oath. What about Marcus? Rebecca smiled, sharp. Oh, we're definitely deposing Marcus. She pulled out another document. I subpoenaed his financial records too. Want to know what I found? What? March 2019. Payment to DNA Diagnostics Lab, $240. 4 years after Liam was born, 2 years before you tested him. I stared at the paper. Line item 47, March 2019, DNA Diagnostics Lab, 249 Protezine Hyos. I read it 3 times. The numbers didn't change. He tested Liam without telling anyone. Without telling you. Sarah knew. I found text between them from March 2019. Marcus sent her a copy of the results. She replied, "What do you want me to do with this?" He said, "Nothing yet, but I want him to know I'm his father." And she said, "Give me time. I can't lose the house." No coincidences, only choices. Then Elena handed me one more thing, a gift tag, laminated, preserved, from the baby shower, written in Marcus's handwriting, "To my little guy, can't wait to meet you." My little guy, not Sarah's baby, not the baby, my. He'd known, had written it down, given it as a gift in front of 23 people, and no one had said a word. "We've got them," Rebecca said, "all of them. No drama, no tantrums, just documents." But documents didn't help at 2 a.m. when Liam called. I'd moved into a one-bedroom apartment across town. Liam stayed with Sarah during the week, temporary custody arrangement until the hearing. I got him on weekends. My phone rang. Liam's name on the screen. "Buddy, you okay?" "Daddy, I had a bad dream." His voice was small, shaky. My chest tightened. "What happened in the dream?" "You were gone. Mommy said you weren't coming back. And I tried to call you, but your phone was off. And I woke up and you weren't here." "I'm here. I'm always here. You know that." "But you're not. You're not in the house." "I'm in a different house right now, but I'm still your dad. Still the same person. Nothing's changed." "Everything's changed." He was 7. He shouldn't have to know this. "Liam, listen to me. I'm fighting to make sure I can see you all the time, every day if I can. But right now, the grown-ups have to figure some stuff out. That's not your fault. None of this is your fault." "Mommy cries a lot." "I know. She says it's because you're mad at her." I closed my eyes. "I'm not mad at you. You understand that, right? No matter what happens between me and Mommy, I love you. That doesn't change." "Are you my real dad?" The question hit like a punch. "What do you mean?" "I heard Mommy on the phone. She was talking to Grandma. She said something about, I don't know, something about you not being my real dad. Are you?" I sat up, heart pounding. "Liam, I'm your dad. The one who makes you breakfast. The one who taught you to ride a bike. The one who reads you stories every night. That's real." "But are you my daddy? Like, really?" "What makes someone a real parent? Is it biology? Daily care? Love? Drop your definition below. I want to know what you think." "Yeah, buddy, I'm your daddy, really." "Okay." He sounded relieved. "I miss you." "I miss you too. Go back to sleep. I'll see you Friday, okay?" "Okay. Love you, Daddy." "Love you too." He hung up. I sat in the dark holding the phone. He'd asked, and I'd answered, but the question was going to come back, bigger, louder, when he was old enough to understand. The next day, he brought me something at school pickup, a drawing, construction paper, crayons, stick figures, 2 people holding hands, one tall, one small. Above them, in his crooked handwriting, "Me and Daddy." I knelt down to his level. "This is beautiful. It's for you, for your new apartment, so you don't forget." "Forget what?" "That you're my dad." I hugged him, right there in the school parking lot. Didn't care who saw. His teacher, Ms. Chen, walked over. "Everything okay?" "Yeah, we're good." She smiled. "He talks about you constantly. My dad does this, my dad said that." "You're doing great." I wasn't doing great. I was holding it together with duct tape in denial, but I nodded anyway. That night, I put his drawing on my fridge, right next to the ultrasound photo I still hadn't thrown away. March 14th, 2017, the day I'd thought my life made sense. Liam had drawn us as stick figures with huge smiles. Mine had a coffee cup. His had a soccer ball. The glitter was already falling off. He'd used too much glue. But it was the most important thing I owned. Deposition day came on a Thursday, October, rain hitting the windows of Rebecca's office. Sarah arrived with her lawyer, a man in his 50s who looked like he billed $400 an hour and enjoyed it. She wore a blue dress, conservative, trustworthy mom costume, Marcus came separately, jeans and a button-down. He looked nervous. Rebecca started with Sarah. Mrs. Collins, when did you first begin a sexual relationship with Marcus Williams? Sarah's lawyer objected. Rebecca overruled him. This was discovery, not trial. Everything was fair game. June 2015. And you were married to my client at that time? Yes. How long did the affair continue? It wasn't an affair. It was, how long? On and off, through 2016. Including the time you conceived your son? Yes. Did you know Marcus was the biological father when you told my client you were pregnant? Sarah looked at her lawyer. He nodded. I suspected. Suspected? Did you confirm? Not until later. When? When Liam was 4. Marcus had a test done. Without my client's knowledge? Yes. Rebecca slid a document across the table. Marcus's credit card statement. March 2019. Is this the test you're referring to? Sarah looked at it. Yes. And when you received the results confirming Marcus was the biological father, did you tell my client? No. Why not? I didn't want to hurt him. Or you didn't want to lose financial support. Objection. I have texts. Rebecca pulled them out, projected them on the screen. March 2019. Sarah to Marcus. What do you want me to do with this? Marcus to Sarah. Tell him. Sarah to Marcus. I can't. Not yet. I can't lose the house. The room went silent. Rebecca looked at Sarah. You chose money over honesty. I chose my family. Your family built on a lie. Then the lawyer asked Sarah, did you ever intend to tell him? She looked at Marcus before answering. Eventually. When? When the time was right. 7 years later, the time still wasn't right? She didn't answer. Rebecca turned to Marcus. Mr. Williams, when did you first learn you were Liam's biological father? March 2019. And you waited 5 years to assert your parental rights. Why? Sarah asked me to. Why would she ask you to wait? She said her husband was a good father, that Liam was happy, that disrupting things wouldn't help anyone. But you're disrupting things now. Because I have rights. He's my son. Biologically. That's what matters. Rebecca smiled. Cold. Does it? You've never attended a parent-teacher conference, never been to a soccer game, never tucked him in at night, never made him breakfast. But you're his father because you share DNA. I didn't have the opportunity. You had 7 years of opportunities. You chose not to take them. Marcus's jaw tightened. I'm here now. Too late. Rebecca turned off the projector. We're done here. As we left, I saw Sarah in the hallway. She looked at me, opened her mouth like she wanted to say something. I kept walking, but the real bomb wasn't the deposition. It was what Rebecca found the next day. She wrote a letter, Rebecca said, never sent it, found it in her iCloud backup. A letter to who? To you. She handed me a printout, handwritten, scanned, dated August 2019. The handwriting slanted left, like it always did when she was drunk. Blue ink, cheap notebook paper, torn edge still attached. I started reading. I don't know how to start this. I've written this letter 20 times and thrown it away every time, but I need to get this out, even if you never read it. You're going to find out eventually. Marcus keeps pushing me to tell you, says it's not fair to keep you in the dark. He's right, but I can't do it. I can't watch your face when I tell you Liam isn't yours. You've been the perfect father. Better than I deserved. Better than Marcus would have been. When Liam was born, I looked at you holding him and I thought, this is who he needs. Not Marcus. You. But biology doesn't care what I think. Marcus has rights, legal rights. And if he pushes this, you'll lose. The courts will give him custody because DNA matters more than love. I'm sorry. I know that's not enough. I know you'll hate me. But I couldn't tell you face to face. Couldn't watch you break. Maybe by the time you read this, it won't matter anymore. Maybe we'll have figured out a way to make this work, or maybe you'll already be gone. I love you. I know I don't deserve to say that, but I do. Sarah. The letter ended with, "By the time you read this, it won't matter anymore." I read it 3 times, hands shaking. She knew, I said. She knew in 2019, wrote it down, and then just kept lying. For 4 more years, Rebecca said, she chose silence. Why didn't she send it? Because sending it would have meant consequences, losing you, losing the house, losing the life she'd built on your back. I set the letter down. Can we use this? Absolutely. It's a written confession, dated, in her handwriting, authenticated by a forensic expert. The judge will love it. What does it prove? Premeditation, intent to deceive. She wasn't confused. She wasn't in denial. She knew exactly what she was doing, and she chose to keep lying. I looked at the letter again. Maybe by the time you read this, it won't matter anymore. But it did matter. It mattered more than anything. Everyone knew. Everyone chose. The trial date was set for December 15th, 8 weeks away. 8 weeks of gathering witnesses, preparing testimony, living in limbo. Rebecca subpoenaed everyone. Sarah's mother, Diane, Sarah's sister, 3 people who'd been at the baby shower, Liam's teacher, his soccer coach, the neighbors who'd watched me mow the lawn every Saturday with Liam helping by collecting grass clippings in his wagon. "We're building a picture," Rebecca said. "You were the dad. Not biologically, actually." The hardest subpoena was Diane, Sarah's mother, the woman who'd sent me a card last Christmas. "You're the best father Liam could have. We're lucky to have you in the family." That card was Exhibit 12. She showed up to her deposition in a gray suit. Wouldn't look at me. Her lawyer sat next to her. Sarah had paid for it, I was sure. Rebecca started gentle. "Mrs. Patterson, how long have you known Marcus Williams?" "A few years." "How many is a few?" "I don't remember exactly." "Let me help. This is a photo from your daughter's baby shower, April 2017. Rebecca slid it across. "That's Marcus, isn't it?" Diane looked at the photo. "Yes." "And on the guest list, you wrote Sarah's cousin next to his name. Why?" I don't recall writing that." Rebecca pulled out another document. "This is a handwriting analysis. Expert says it matches your handwriting from other documents. Want to revise your answer?" Diane's lawyer whispered something. She nodded. "I may have written it." "Was Marcus actually Sarah's cousin?" "No." "So you lied on the guest list?" "I was trying to keep the peace." "By deceiving my client?" "I didn't want to ruin the party." Rebecca leaned forward. "Mrs. Patterson, when did you learn Marcus was Liam's biological father?" Diane looked at her hands. "Before he was born." "How long before?" "Sarah told me when she was 3 months pregnant." "So you've known for over 7 years?" "Yes." "And in those 7 years, did you ever consider telling my client the truth?" Silence. "Mrs. Patterson, it wasn't my place." "Was it your place to call him the best father Liam could have while knowing he wasn't the biological father?" "He is a good father." "That's not what I asked. Did you ever feel guilty? Watching him raise another man's child, thinking it was his own?" Diane's eyes welled up. "Every day. But not guilty enough to tell him. I couldn't betray my daughter." Rebecca pulled out more documents, phone records, text messages, a family group chat from 2020. This is a group text. 17 people in it, including Marcus, including you. It's titled Liam's 5th Birthday Planning. Did my client know about this chat? No. Why not? Because Marcus was in it, and you all agreed not to tell him Marcus existed. We didn't want to cause problems. You didn't want to get caught. Rebecca turned to me, nodded. I stood up. Diane finally looked at me. "I have one question," I said. Rebecca had coached me on this. "Keep it simple. Make it personal." "When you looked at me at Thanksgiving, at Christmas, at Liam's birthday parties, when you hugged me and called me family, Did any part of you think I deserved to know? Diane's face crumpled. I'm so sorry. That's not an answer. Yes, I thought you deserved to know. I told Sarah to tell you. I begged her, but she was terrified of losing you, and I chose her. You chose wrong. The judge asked her directly, Mrs. Patterson, how many people knew about Marcus's paternity? Diane wiped her eyes. Family, close friends, maybe 17 people. Not one person, not two. 17 people knew. The courtroom was smaller than I expected. Wood paneling, fluorescent lights, a judge who looked tired before we even started. Judge Morrison, 50s, reading glasses. According to Rebecca, she had a reputation for following the law precisely, no exceptions. Sarah sat on one side with her lawyer. Marcus sat next to them. They joined forces, filed a joint custody petition. Both wanted time with Liam. Both wanted to erase me. I sat with Rebecca. Behind us, my brother, two neighbors, Ms. Chen, Liam's teacher, and a stack of evidence 3 inches thick. Judge Morrison read the case file, looked up. This is unusual, she said. 3 parties seeking custody of 1 child. Mr. Williams, you're the biological father? Marcus stood. Yes, Your Honor. But you've had no relationship with the child for 7 years. Because I wasn't given the opportunity. You knew about him. Yes, but did you pay child support? No, but did you attempt to establish paternity through legal channels? I was waiting for the right time. Waiting, while my client raised your biological son. The judge looked at me. And you? You're listed as father on the birth certificate. You've raised the child since birth. But you're not biologically related. No, Your Honor. Do you still want custody? Yes. Why? The courtroom went quiet. Because he's my son. I've been his father for 7 years. I taught him to walk, read him bedtime stories, coached his soccer team. Biology doesn't change that he's mine and I'm his. Judge Morrison made a note. We'll hear testimony. Mrs. Collins, you're first. Sarah took the stand, swore to tell the truth. Her lawyer asked soft questions, how much she loved Liam, how she wanted what was best for him, how she'd made mistakes but deserved forgiveness. Then Rebecca stood up. Mrs. Collins, you wrote a letter in August 2019. Do you remember it? Yes. You never sent it? No. Why not? Because I was afraid. Of what? Of losing everything. Rebecca projected the letter on the screen, read it aloud, every word. The judge followed along on her copy. When Rebecca got to the line, maybe by the time you read this, it won't matter anymore, she stopped. What did you mean by that, Mrs. Collins? I thought maybe if enough time passed, it wouldn't matter who his biological father was. You thought you could run out the clock. I thought love would be enough. Love requires honesty. I know that now. Too late. The judge intervened. Ms. Reynolds, do you have other witnesses? Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to call Diane Patterson. Diane took the stand. Rebecca walked her through the timeline. The baby shower, the guest list, the family group chat, 17 people. Mrs. Patterson, in your opinion, who has acted as Liam's father? Diane looked at me. He has. Not Marcus? Marcus is his biological father, but my name is his dad. Rebecca showed the judge the Christmas card, the one Diane had sent me last year. You're the best father Liam could have. Did you mean that when you wrote it? Rebecca asked. Yes. Do you still mean it? Diane looked at Sarah, then back at me. Yes, I do. The next witness was Ms. Chen, Liam's teacher. How often does Mr. Collins attend school events? Rebecca asked. Every single one. Parent-teacher conferences, book fairs, field trips. He's a regular volunteer. And Mrs. Collins? She attends when her work schedule allows. How about Mr. Williams? I've never met him. Rebecca showed photos. Me at the book fair. Me chaperoning the zoo trip. Me in the audience at the school play, phone held high, recording. In your professional opinion, who is Liam's primary parental figure? Ms. Chen didn't hesitate. Mr. Collins, without question. The judge made notes, lots of notes. Then Rebecca said the words I'd been waiting for. Your Honor, I'd like the court to interview the child. Liam should have a voice in this. Sarah's lawyer objected. He's 7, too young to... He's old enough to know who he feels safe with, Rebecca shot back. Judge Morrison considered. I'll conduct an in-camera interview with a child psychologist present tomorrow morning. That night I couldn't sleep. Kept thinking about what Liam would say, if he'd understand, if I'd prepared him enough. The next morning, Rebecca met me outside the courthouse. Remember, she said, you can't coach him. The judge will ask what she wants. Dr. Patel will assess his attachment. Just trust him. What if he says he wants to live with Sarah? Then we deal with it, but I don't think he will. They brought Liam in through a side door. He was wearing his favorite shirt, navy blue with a dinosaur on it, carrying his backpack, the one I'd packed for him. Inside, his stuffed dog, a granola bar, a book. Navy blue with a patch he'd ironed on himself. World's okayest kid. The zipper was broken on the front pocket. I'd meant to fix it. He saw me, waved. I waved back. Then they took him into the judge's chambers. The door closed. I waited. 45 minutes, an hour. Rebecca kept checking her watch. Finally, the door opened. Dr. Patel came out first. Then Liam, then the judge. Liam ran to me, hugged my waist. Did I do good? You did great, buddy. Judge Morrison called us back into the courtroom. Everyone took their seats. I've completed my interview with the child, she said. Dr. Patel has prepared a report. I'll summarize the relevant findings. She adjusted her glasses, started reading. Liam was asked to describe his family. He drew 3 figures, himself, Mr. Collins, and a dog named Rocket. When asked about his mother, he said, she's family too, but she doesn't live with us anymore. When asked about Marcus Williams, he said, Marcus is nice, but he's not my dad. The courtroom was silent. Dr. Patel's assessment concludes that Liam exhibits secure attachment to Mr. Collins and age-appropriate anxiety about the separation. He expresses clear preference for living with Mr. Collins and maintaining regular contact with his mother. He shows no attachment to Mr. Williams and expresses confusion about his role. The judge looked at Marcus. Your biological relationship is noted, but this child doesn't know you, doesn't want to know you, and forcing contact would be traumatic. Marcus started to speak. His lawyer put a hand on his arm. Judge Morrison turned to me. Mr. Collins, Liam was asked what makes you his father. Do you know what he said? I shook my head. He said, my dad makes me breakfast. He helps with homework. He plays with me even when he's tired. That's what dads do. My throat tightened. The judge closed the folder. I'll issue my ruling in 1 week. The judge is about to rule. Before you hear it, comment. Do you think I won? Yes or no? Let's see if you're right. 7 days. The longest 7 days of my life. I took Liam to school, picked him up, made dinner, read him stories, pretended everything was normal while my entire life hung in the balance. On day 5, he asked me a question. We were making pancakes. Saturday morning ritual. He was pouring chocolate chips into the batter. Way too many, but I didn't care. Dad? Yeah, buddy. If the judge says I have to live with Mommy, will you still be my dad? I turned off the stove. Knelt down. Liam, no matter what the judge says, I'm your dad. That's not something anyone can take away. Not a judge. Not anyone. But what if I can't see you? You'll see me, I promise. How do you know? Because I'm not going anywhere. You're stuck with me. He smiled, small. Forever? Forever. He hugged me, syrup on his hands, chocolate on his face. Good, 'cause you make the best pancakes. The ruling came on December 22nd, 3 days before Christmas. We all gathered in the courtroom, same seats, same tension. Liam wasn't there. Minors aren't present for rulings. Judge Morrison entered. We stood, sat. My heart was hammering so hard I thought everyone could hear it. I've reviewed all testimony, exhibits, and Dr. Patel's psychological evaluation. This is my ruling. She pulled out a document, started reading. Under state law, biology is not the sole determinant of parental rights. This state recognizes the de facto parent doctrine, which grants parental rights to individuals who have acted as parents, regardless of biological relationship. She looked at me. Mr. Collins, you have been this child's de facto parent since birth. You have provided daily care, financial support, emotional stability, and consistent presence. The evidence is overwhelming. Then she looked at Marcus. Mr. Williams, you are the biological father. That is not in dispute. However, you have been absent from this child's life for 7 years. You have provided no support, no care, no presence. Biology alone does not grant you custody. Marcus's jaw clenched. Mrs. Collins, you have been duplicitous and manipulative. You prioritized your financial security over honesty. That said, you are still this child's mother, and Liam has expressed a desire to maintain contact with you. The judge paused. This court rules as follows. My hands gripped the armrest. Primary physical custody is awarded to Mr. Collins. He will have final decision-making authority on education, medical care, and religious upbringing. Mrs. Collins is awarded supervised visitation, 2 weekends per month, pending completion of family therapy. Rebecca squeezed my shoulder. Mr. Williams, you are awarded no custody at this time. However, you may petition for supervised visitation after 6 months, contingent on establishing a relationship with the child in a therapeutic setting. Marcus stood. Sit down, Mr. Williams. I'm not finished. He sat. Regarding child support, Mrs. Collins and Mr. Williams will jointly pay Mr. Collins $1,100 per month to offset childcare costs. This is retroactive to the date of filing. Sarah gasped. My reasoning is simple. Biology is science. Fatherhood is action. Mr. Collins has acted as this child's father. The law recognizes that. This court rules genetic parentage irrelevant under state de facto parent statute section 14B. Mr. Collins is Liam's legal father in all respects. She banged the gavel. We're adjourned. I sat there, couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Rebecca was smiling. You won. You won everything. I need to call him. Call who? Liam. I stepped outside, dialed. He picked up on the first ring. Dad? Hey, buddy, I've got good news. What? You're coming home. For good. Silence. Then, really? Really. The judge said so. You're staying with me. He started crying. Happy crying. Can I bring Rocket? You can bring whatever you want. This is home. Okay. I love you, Dad. I love you too. The first morning after felt like waking up from a 7-year nightmare. I made pancakes like always. Liam sat at the table in his dinosaur pajamas, Rocket tucked under one arm, backpack on the floor beside him. The backpack was unpacked, staying. Can I have extra chocolate chips? He asked. You can have as many as you want. Really? Today you can. He grinned, poured half the bag into his pancakes. While the griddle heated, I looked around. The apartment wasn't much. 1 bedroom, Liam's. I slept on the couch. The kitchen was the size of a closet. The walls needed paint, but it was ours. On the fridge, his new drawing, 3 figures. Me, Dad, and Rocket. Crayon, glitter, too much glue, perfect. Next to it, the original ultrasound photo, March 14th, 2017. I'd kept it, not sure why. Maybe because it represented something true, even if the biology was wrong. That was the day I became a father. Didn't matter what the DNA said, in the trash can, visible, if you looked, the DNA envelope. I'd thrown it away that morning. Symbolic. Liam brought his plate to the table, sat down, started eating, syrup everywhere. Dad? Yeah? Are we okay now? I sat across from him. Yeah, buddy, we're okay. Good. He took another bite. 'Cause I like it here. It's small, but it's good. It's home. Yeah, home. We ate in silence, just the sound of forks on plates, morning sun through the window, Rocket watching from the couch. After breakfast, he wanted to go to the park. We walked. He held my hand the whole way. When we got there, he ran straight for the swings. Push me, Dad! I pushed. He laughed, kicked his legs, yelled higher, even though I was pushing as high as I dared. Other parents were there, watching their kids, living their normal Saturday mornings. I wondered how many of them had fought for this, how many had almost lost it. A mom on the bench next to me smiled. He's got your laugh. Thanks. He didn't, actually, biologically, but he'd learned it from me. Picked it up somewhere between age 2 and age 7, and that mattered more. Later, Liam asked if we could get ice cream. I said yes. We walked to the shop on the corner. He got mint chip, I got coffee. We sat on the curb eating our cones, Rocket between us. He had ice cream on his nose. Dad? Yeah. I'm glad you're my dad. I'm glad you're my son. Even though... He stopped, started over. Ms. Chen said sometimes families are made different ways, not just by being born. Is that true? Yeah, that's true. So you're my dad because you chose me? I chose you every single day, buddy, and I'll keep choosing you. Good, because I choose you too. He went back to his ice cream like it was that simple, and maybe it was. We walked home as the sun started setting. He was tired, dragging his feet, rubbing his eyes. I picked him up. He was getting too big for this, but I didn't care. He rested his head on my shoulder. Love you, Dad. Love you too. By the time we got home, he was asleep. I carried him inside, tucked him into bed. Rocket beside him, pulled the blanket up to his chin. I stood in the doorway for a minute, just watching him breathe, thinking about everything we'd been through, everything I'd almost lost. His drawing was still on the fridge, 3 figures. Me, Dad, and Rocket. No biology, no revenge, just us. I went to the kitchen, made myself coffee, sat at the table, looked at the custody order framed on the wall. Rebecca had suggested I frame it. Proof, she'd said, in case anyone ever questions it. But I didn't need proof. I had Liam, asleep in the next room, safe, home. He's still not mine, not by blood, not by DNA, but I'm his. And that's the only test that ever mattered. This is my found family story. If you have one, whether it's about a step-parent, adoptive family, or someone who chose you when biology didn't, share it below. And if this story meant something to you, hit that like button. It helps me tell more stories like this.